Alright guys, back in another video, and this time we're going to be going over something I've been messing with. And yes, it is 60 cards before we get into that part. I'm not even sure if you can really trim it down too much based off of how I build the deck, but maybe later on I'll be able to figure out a way to trim it down. But there are so many important cards, really hard to fit it into 60. Well, less than 60. Reboot hit leader, it only does attack, draw a card. So good, gain 5k power. When you get 4 less, draw 1, untap 1. And his Awaken side is so good. And when he attacks, it's the same thing, draws, gain 5 power. And then you take a skillless battle card with 2 or less in your drop area and play it, which is really important. Also, he has an activate main and battle. Or he has either one. Once a turn, so during the player's turn, during their battle, you can choose one card in your hand and place it in your drop area, and then choose one of your opponent's battle cards with double strike, critical, or blocker and KO it, which is really cool. And I'll get into more detail how he's important and what his role is with this deck. But this is the Janemba chain, and it's very, very fun. But there are a lot of weaknesses. We'll get into those later. But you can side some cards to help. For Psyche Demon, this guy helps you search for your Janembas, and yeah, that's main. And he also is a target for you to bounce. Once you keep him on board for this, to play this guy for free, burst 2, so it helps you set up the 1 overrealm. I want to play a second one, but this deck is so tight. You'll see why in a little bit. This guy also helps you self-awaken. Take 2 cards from your life, add them to your hand. So good. So on your Awaken turn on turn 3, I'll go through the chain about how this guy is so important. If they're attacking you a lot, he's not as important, obviously. This guy, 4 of your vanilla Janemba, super good. And this is how you start your chain. Like actually start your chain, so really, really important to see. 4 of the 3-drop SPR. This guy is super good, and his main role is a dual attack critical that you play for free on your turn 3 by returning this guy to your hand. And yeah, he also goes to what's that? You can't play him for the rest of the turn, which is the important part, and in the inner turn he gets into the warp. But he's not going to stay there in most cases, so because you're going to slap this ball over top of him, well, under him really, and you're going to play this guy from your deck. So attack 2 times with your 3-drop, 1 time with this guy, 1 time with your leader to bring back this guy, and not including your 15k combo attack that you play for free to Awaken. And this guy, he is critical, and if your opponent has 2 more energy, which they will, unless they kill off their energy, because you're waiting until turn 3 to play this, you get to attack, and if they don't kill one of their guys, you untap an energy and draw a card. So you can expend some energy on your, and then do your plays, which is important to remember. Then you can EX Evolve, which is the only like non-searchable target in the deck, which is something important to draw. Which is one reason why you could just play a mono blue version and just play, so you maximize your chances at getting this card. But you draw a lot of cards on your first 3 turns, so you could see this and you kind of mulligan for this card. And we'll talk a little more about that in a second. This guy's dual attack critical, and remember these guys dual attack, being on top of them helps you put on more pressure, and extend. So that's important to note. And you draw 2 when you play him off EX Evolve. So that's your main chain. Now, the rest of the deck is basically extenders and helps you like push through. So you got 4 copies of your Napa vanilla. Now, this is something I got from Joey. Shout out to Crosswords TCG. I think this is pretty interesting. I haven't really seen too many situations where he's like game breaking, but this is like an extender you can play for EX Evolve from your energy. So this is like one of the cards you want to charge and or bring back from your drop area during a grind game, and you play this guy. And in turn, whenever this guy after the end of turn this guy attacks, you restand a blue energy, which is kind of important to note if you're going in for game and you really want to save an energy of him. So really good. So double striker out of nowhere, sort of like an overrealm. 3 copies of your attack, take a life, gain critical. This guy's probably cuttable, but another extender is nice for 1 energy and is good if your opponent. I mean, if you don't see the 2-drop guy, they try to leave you at 5. So, really good. He also has critical, which is just goes along with the theme with the Janembas. 3 cents a boon, yes, there's only 3. That's how tight this deck is. In reality, it's not as important in this deck for defensive capability, unless I'll probably side the 4th. But mainly, you'll see when I get to the raid cards, you'll see what I'm saying. And 2 of another extender. So, this guy is super good, but he has unique. You pitch a card, a pinch a skills card when you have 3 or more energy and play him for your hand. And activate, once per turn, if he hits something for damage and or takes a marker off a unison, this guy allows you to play your vanilla back from your drop area to attack again. Just an extender, really. And your Janemba guy is bounced back to your hand by your 3-drop. So you will always have, like on your turn 3, you'll always have a vanilla in your hand unless you combo it away because of this. Because this returns this back to your hand. So that's it for the blue cards. So to your super combo, I'm playing 4 of the foil ones I have. You can play whichever ones you want, just as long as they are red draw card. You could technically play other super combos, maybe even beer super combo for the. You don't have the red blue energy withstand, but you could play coolers, but that's not really that important. You can still technically play coolers deck anyways because you have blue and red. So that's something to think about too. 3 of your double strikes. Now this deck has a lot of critical, but not very many double strikers. So this guy can help you end the game. Yeah, and it's also a red energy. So you count 3 red energy here. Something you don't really want to charge, an extender, and it's just a good card for vanilla decks. Nimbus Master 2 and 2 for then shield is pretty nice, especially because they are unique. 3 Violent Rays, because this card is super good in this format, and 3 Topo. I wanted to split on these, and you don't want to see too many edge cards, but you do need to see a red card to charge. So, in reality, these are all the red cards you can. You need to charge 1. You need to charge 1. So, you have 11 copies, plus your super combos, which is pretty nice. I think 11's fine. And then, generic good cards, 2 Bardic Resolute, and 1 SS4 Bardic Overwhelm. So this guy goes along with the theme of just putting on pressure with dual attacks, a lot of attacks. But this card could be swapped out for like a different Overwhelm because this one does get hurt by Violent Rays. So could play something like Time Regulator or anything with a low like Overwhelm cost so you can play more things faster. And also, this is the cards, but I would somehow find a way to include the Supreme Kai of Time's Secret Rare. I do not have it on me yet. It's in the mail, which is this card. That's just a generically good card. You can play in almost any deck that doesn't have a valid target for a Secret Rare. So, what do you guys think about the deck? This deck is super defensive with this guy's leader ability to be able to pitch and get rid of things. Also offensive in the sense it can get rid of blockers. So one of your things you want to do is with this deck, we'll go through the chain for the people that don't understand about how this deck's supposed to work, and because it's fun. I think it's really fun, and yeah, we'll go ahead and get into a little run through, and it's really like simple, but it does a lot of things. So this is all in one turn now, on turn 3. So this guy you play on your turn 1. So you haven't paid any energy, but you can place the energy the turn you do this. Because you're going to bounce this guy out of your hand. Mill 2. So you're going to take 2 and mill it. Take 2 from your life. So say if you're at 6 or 5 or whatever you are at. You take 2 of your life. It's up to 2, so whatever. Take them. So you got a bunch of cards in hand. You can then attack... Play this guy back for your 1 energy tapped. Awaken and activate main. Pitch the vanilla. Attack. Bring back the vanilla. Draw a card. Attack with the vanilla. So count the attacks with me. You got 1, 2, 3. Bounce him back to your hand. Can you see? Attack. Attack. So that's how many attacks now? 5. Ball. Restands. Play the 4. And now remember, you haven't tapped any energy like you have, but they're all restanded. Attack. It's a 6. EX Evolve. This guy restands. Draw 2. And you could have drew 1 off of this potentially if they didn't get rid of the guy. attack, attack. Now, the only problem with this is there's 8 attacks, right? Violent Rage stops you once you get here, but they should have already done it. You would already saw it coming, so you can think about how you're gonna go about it without that. You're still gonna go into this play power to draw cards with this guy, but other than that, this guy is super good. Got 8 attacks in that one turn. That is without extenders. Now that is without you playing this guy or this guy or this guy or Chilled or Supreme Kai of Time, or if you charge one of your Nappas and you play this Nappa for 1 EX Evolve from your energy. And that in itself is, say if you happen to draw any combination, that card's 9 to 10 attacks, and that's not including your first 2 turns when you attack with this guy for, say, first 3 turns, so 2 attacks before that. So you've attacked already 10 times minimum with just the chain, not including extenders. And they got to defend these attacks, so if they don't have anything like Senzu Beans, or even then, you're still going to have 20k swings. Yeah, they're going to have to take some damage. And then you got these little guys, little 1-drop Gokus. Like, you can swing it with those. So, this deck has a lot of potential, and I don't know what I would change to make the deck a little better. But also note that you have the defensive capability with Topa and Violent Rays in this list. So, it helps you beat those Dark Burly decks and helps you handle those Red Burly decks. So, let me know what you guys think. See you guys in the next video. Deuces.